Hey, what's up, guys? This is your boy, Willem Alexander Coleman, also known as Erasmataz, and welcome to the Erasmataz Weekly Show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for continuing to support me as I continue to give my unsolicited opinions on African sports. I need to apologize as well for not bringing anything out last week. I haven't been well. I'm still not 100%, but life and the show must go on, as they say. I have no guest today, so it's just going to be me pretty much blabbing all by myself the whole time. Now, today I want to talk about something which may seem a bit unusual. I want to talk about the National Science and Maths Quiz, which is currently reaching a climax here in Ghana. This is a competition about math and science between high schools. But look at the excitement it generates because of the rivalries between the schools. I'm sure that back in the day, back in the day when I was doing core math and core science, that's what probably most of the viewers have knowledge in, basic math and basic science. But they are still so interested in the high level math and science questions that are being asked these kids week in, week out, or day in, day out, however long the competition lasts. But they are so interested, and I guess it is mainly because of the rivalry between the schools. Like, look at social media, for instance, and all the banter it generates, and all this for subjects that many people can't even relate to. All they can really relate to is a rivalry which exists between the schools. There's something much more relatable to most of the viewers of the National Science and Maths Quiz, which would have the same points of interest to them, and that is school sports. The rivalries that excite them with the National Science and Maths Quiz exist in school sports as well. So I wonder, why don't we take advantage of the buzz that school rivalries generates to have a national school sports festival? This is something that Yaosechi talked about in my last episode, but for basketball. Big shout to Yaosechi. Well, before you come at me, I'm not suggesting in any way that this is something new. I know we already have like semblances of like national school sports or regional school sports activities. But what I'm talking about is a rebranded, repackaged, and nationally televised high school sports festival. I think we can go even beyond like basketball and football and bring in more sports. But just like with the start of every new project, we don't need to overdo it. We can start with 2, maximum 3 sports. Let's say football, basketball, and I don't know, athletics. And get one school from each region to take part in these sports, and find 1 week during the school term to host them somewhere to take part. Preferably this should be during the second term, because during the final term, final year students would probably be busy preparing for their final exams. So these are all things that you can look at, sorry. And we don't even need to overthink the selection or qualification of schools for something like this for a start either. For this to happen, I think that there has to be a collaborative effort between the TV stations, the National Sports Authority, and the Ghana Education Service. The TV stations should see this as an opportunity to get solid content and guaranteed viewing, just by judging what happens with the National Science and Maths Quiz. I tried getting viewing figures for the National Science and Maths Quiz from Joy Prime, but I wasn't able to do that. I wanted to do that so that I could make some projections for having something similar with a nationally televised school sports program. But I'm sure as time goes on, I'll be able to get that, and probably in subsequent episodes, I'll put that out. Now, the GES, the Ghana Education Service, could see this as an opportunity perhaps to even enhance academic performance by encouraging athletes to maintain a certain level of academic performance if they are to be selected for their various school teams to take part in the festival. This is just a suggestion. I'm sure we can always have a discussion about the selection criteria and even the criteria used to choose schools or mode of qualification to take part in this. Now, the National Sports Authority needs to be involved because most likely, whichever venue we would host this festival in would be owned by the National Sports Authority anyway, so we would definitely need their involvement. So, yeah, organizers of the maiden event, in order not to spend too much money and time, could either just select schools from each region, yeah, and invite them, or ask schools to express an interest in taking part and which sport they'd like to take part in. So if there's more than one school taking part, that's from one region that wants to take part, the organizers could use their own criteria, set their own criteria for selection, and maybe choose one school, or simply ask the schools that have expressed interest from a particular region to maybe slug it out among themselves, and the winner of that competition gets to represent uh, that region. That is, if they would agree to something like that, and if there's enough time for it, because all these things you have to take time into consideration, because school is not just going to be about sports. It's primarily about academics, whether we like it or not. As the years go by, the festival will definitely be expanded. So the formats will change, and how we select students to take part and how we select schools to take part will change as well. Now, the downside to this is that you may not, for a start, have intra city and intra regional rivalries between schools. Uh, but then again, if let's say for the central region we have one school, let's say St. Augustine's, selected to take part in one of the sports, yeah, there's likely to be an interest from students and current students and old students of maybe, let's say, Mfansipim and Adisadel, just to see them lose so they could tease them. So the interest remains, but it's just that there's a different angle to the interest. Another thing that we could have is regional rivalries for a start. We all know how, like, for instance, great schools in Greater Accra think that they are better than schools in the Eastern region or the Central region or the Ashanti region. So this having one school represent um, their regions for a start could create such a rivalry as well. And whichever way you look at it, I guess that there will be a genuine interest. After all, this is sports and not maths and science. Even maths and science generates huge interest. So I am firmly of the belief that we can do something really good, really solid when it comes to rivalries with school sports. Now, for this to become a reality, we're going to need sports businesses, TV companies, and the relevant government stakeholders to come together. I have said over and over again that the sports space over here is way too big for us to even compete with each other. We all just need to uh, work with each other in order for everyone to get a piece of the pie. If we work together to make this a success, aside me making a few CDs, which obviously would be everyone's primary interest, we are opening up opportunities for the young ones to be found and made stars. Even if they don't become sports stars, they definitely, or well, there's the possibility for them to become stars in other fields as well. Let's think about it carefully, yeah, and see what we can do to initiate a project like this, and see what results we can get academically, economically, as well as sporting results as well. Look, college sports is a really, really, really big deal in the USA. And high school football in Japan is actually even said to be bigger than the J League, which is their professional top flight. So, with some efforts, we can make high school sports big in Ghana as well. I'm really sure of that, especially in this era of NFTs, which are here to stay, by the way, and the so called metaverse. We should be actually itching to make something like this happen. We need to make it big enough so that we can capture iconic moments, create tokens out of them, and make some money. There's a huge opportunity for this, and this is a chance that we shouldn't make go waste. Anyway, this is just a short episode, but in conclusion, the final of the National Science and Maths quiz is tomorrow between Qatar Secondary School, the Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, and Prempeh College. Now, let's imagine a football or basketball final in a national sports festival between two of these three schools. Or let's even assume a 100 or 200 meter athletics final with which have all these three schools uh, taking part. Uh, it would be huge, like, because if you look at how much excitement there is for the final for this academic quiz, for a sports quiz, trust me, it's going to be much, much bigger. And I'm convinced that with the right publicity, it would be much bigger than what we currently see with the National Science and Maths quiz. Having said that, I wish all the finalists taking part in the National Science and Maths quiz all the best. As always, I'll be on hand to tease whoever loses the final, especially if it is Presec or Prempeh College. So watch out for me, guys. Yeah, this is just a quick episode. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please hit on like and share it as well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, kindly do. After this bout of sickness, I want to make it a bit more. I want to be a bit more consistent. So watch out for more Erasmus weekly shows, and watch out for more offside calls as well. Especially with the Erasmus weekly shows, I'm going to be getting more guests, both from home and abroad, to give proper insights into what we can do to increase participation and investment in sports, and what we can generally do to make sports in the continent better. These days, you can actually catch me on Star FM as well. I'm a regular on the Monday night football and Friday night football shows on Star 103.5 FM if you're in Accra. They air, on from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. On Mondays and Fridays. Occasionally, I'll be on a show called Footy Fanatics on the same station, which is on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. as well. I'll be with the crew: Kofi Mensah, Benghazi, Nixon, Lucky, Raymond, Christian, Betsy, and the others. Big shout to them. So do well to tune in there as well. It's a pretty fun show as well. Anyway, so yeah, this has been the Erasmus Weekly Show. This has been your boy Willem Alexander Coleman, aka Erasmus, and I'll see you guys again real soon. Peace.